What's up? How's it going? Happy Friday. Welcome to the weekly, formerly the live Q&A sessions. I just felt like I needed a name, and just behind the scenes I've been trying to figure out what the format should be. So, you know, there's not many people starting out right now, which is great, so I can sort of play around with the format and stuff. So that's what I'm doing. So here. But yeah, so I want to start doing this a little differently every Friday. I still want people to, like, you know, if you have questions about visual effects, you know, specific or general, if there's stuff you want to know about, if you want me to like try and figure out live, or if there's something you need to like try and get figured out, I'm down to help. And what else? Oh, if there's anything, like if you've been working on something lately and you want to show that off, please feel free to send it to me on Twitter, Instagram, or here in the chat, and soon the Discord. More on that later. But send it to me, and maybe we'll check it out on the show. Or if you just want, you know, if you want critiques, if you just want to flaunt it, whatever. And if there's anything else like you found that you thought was cool, you know, it's visual effects, it's music, it's whatever, art, digital art, traditional art, anything, send it in. And but yeah, this is it's been crazy. This is my first week that I've had off work. And when I say like had off work, like I'm done working. And I've been working nonstop for the last 4 years without like a gap anywhere. Which is like, it's always feast or famine. Definitely it was a lot harder before this like stint of just nonstop work, but it's just like having time now, even just like mentally, is insane. Like thinking about like all the different things I can get into and start making time for is it's insane. And I'm still trying to figure that out, like exactly what I want to do with all this time. So yeah, it's exciting having this first week off. Wednesday we did our first live labs with someone else. That went very well. I don't know if you guys haven't checked out the final shot. You can find it right here on the channel, or Twitter, Instagram, wherever. But I'll pull it up right here. Let me see here. Here we go. So yeah, this was the shot that we came up with, and I even like cut together a little mini breakdown. With Kyle Gallagher. We did this on Wednesday. And so what you're going to see here is the shot that we pulled off of Pexels.com. And then we worked on this for, it ended up being like 6.5 hours or something like that. Which wasn't that bad. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the way the shot came out. This this is definitely biting off more than we could chew, but yeah. And then like this stuff, this is sort of interesting. Mostly I was trying to figure out an issue that I was having with Element in ray tracing shadows, because I wanted to like fix one aspect of this that I had noticed sort of like after the fact, but you know, this whole thing was just sort of slammed together. But I really wanted to go back in and add floors, like this on the sides, because everything I had was sort of like floating on top of the water, which, you know, would have been fine. Like, but like, if I can, I'm gonna fix it. So yeah, this was added after the live stream, but I couldn't get Element to render these ray trace shadows for the longest time. So I spent most of yesterday trying to figure that out. But once I did get it working, I rendered out this past with the buildings as a matte shadow. I did some other post stuff as well. I added smoke in here, using a Z pass, but also a world pass for some of it. There's the Z pass, obviously. Got my illumination pass, and then this is basically this part of it right here. What you're seeing here is what the render looked like. This was the actual result of the 6 hours of work that we did on Wednesday, Kyle and I. So yeah, once I had this and I had the floors rendered out and I fixed the ray tracing issue, I went back in and you know, it's mostly post stuff. Like this is all done on top of a DPX render that I have of the shot. So yeah, adding in the floors, doing some color correction. I added some thrusters inside of particular to sort of drive this turbulent displacement that's going on. It's like also sort of shooting out these rings. It's very faint. And then I have I think this is a Det Films Sparks pop that I put on there. Added a reflection as well. Did a reflection pass render real quick of the ship just so I could have that there. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. Oh, and I made this real fast just because, I don't know. we came up with a name for it during, and I just ran with it, and I just did a quick thing in After Effects when I was cutting together the time lapse. The lava right there. I also wanted to shout out the artist that created a lot of the assets, really all the assets. I don't know if I used anything else other than these, but I had been looking around on ArtStation lately at a bunch of different things, a bunch of different assets and stuff like that. And so I linked all of them in the description here. If you look, there'll be the assets featured in this episode. If you go to the Lava Rider video, you can go there and you can check out all the assets that were used to make this. So here's like the buildings that I had used to create the sort of hydro rig plant. Some of the textures I believe I used the canisters and some of the materials. Definitely used one of the materials from this pack as well. And then this one I used for some random stuff. I used for like the bars that went in between the hanger and the floor and some other stuff. So yeah, definitely check them out. While I'm on the topic, another thing I wanted to, where is it? Here we go. Kitbash 3D is for a brief period putting out their Utopia kit for free. If you go to the page, I believe it's Bright Dark Times. Yeah, pretty cool. And they have like a challenge going as well too. People are sharing their different images and stuff of what they've been creating with it. It's been really cool. Here's some of them. Pretty impressive. I may play around with this myself at some point. But yeah, the people who make Lockdown and Composite Brush are extending the free period for both of the plugins until the end of May. So you should definitely go check them out. I haven't used Lockdown as much lately, only because, you know, hasn't been any work. But I use it a lot during work, and especially Composite Brush I use a lot. So definitely check that out. I thought I'd jump into my comp for the one of the other things I had done this week, one of my everydays, in homage to an artist friend of mine, Nicholas Brunet, that I had done, and I did all of this inside of After Effects. The building itself was actually modeled inside of Cinema 4D, which I don't have a lot of experience with, like modeling things So I wanted to spend a little time, even if it was something, super simple like this building. I just wanted to spend some time learning the ropes again and getting into Cinema 4D because it's been a while since I've like modeled in it. I'm always like jumping in for Mixamo stuff or whatever, but never really modeling. Let me see. Find this. So this is the building as it appears in my picture. But yeah, it's super simple. Man, I can feel that it's like slowing down my machine in over here. But yeah, this is pretty easy to model. I just wanted to like sort of do it correctly, or as correctly as I could. And it was based on a photo that I had found of a house, and not bad, right? Not bad. Here we go. Opening. It's okay to leave all of that off. Yeah, there we go. So here's what the scene looked like inside of Element itself. And then, so the buildings, basically all I did was I flipped and rotated them around to show the different sides, just to give it some variation. If I had zoomed out, you'd maybe be able to tell like this is that, like it's sort of repeating if you just spun the whole thing around in a circle. But yeah, so that's what this looked like inside of Element. I rendered out some passes and used them. So I have like an ambient occlusion. Here's like the diffuse. And just in general, I wanted to control some of the spill that was everywhere. So I rendered it separately from the rest of it. So yeah, and then here's the reflection passes, illumination. And then here's like the lighting coming from inside of the house. And then over here, and I really like what I did here. The idea with these, doing it on this side of this building, was to sort of give it a randomness that you'd probably find in real life. Like instead of trying to make something that looks super pretty and very carefully curated, I just wanted to give some realism in the scene by adding some lights that sort of, if you look, they overlap each other. They're mixing and they're from different angles, so you're not sure like where the sources could be coming from. So I thought that was nice. And then here's sort of all the passes stuck together with the blue one. Non-visual effects thing that I've been doing this week since I'm free is, aside from listening to Hamilton for the 34th millionth time, I've been watching a lot of Great British Baking Show. And I decided to try and make one of the recipes from the technical challenge from season 1, episode 5. And I made mini pear tarts. Little mini, a pear tart and a pear pie. Very proud of them. They came out pretty good, if I do say so myself. Could they have been cooked a little bit more? Maybe, but reheating them sort of seemed to do the trick just enough. But it took like 3 hours to make these. I don't know how they made them in 2. I mean, most of them didn't. But yeah, that was sort of fun escape. Movies, what have I been watching? Let me check my list. 27th. I've been watching weird movies. Don't judge me. I don't know why I watched Hancock. What was that? Last week? Week before? Week before last. It does not hold up. It is, wow. Does not hold up. Here we go. I did an update. I can't recommend enough to you guys to watch the Anne of Green Gables series that was made in the 80s by Sullivan Entertainment. I think right now the only place you can get it, other than like ordering it online somewhere, DVD, is gazebotv.com. They have like, they're just like dedicated to it. It's so good. There's nothing like it, honestly. I don't know about the 4th one. I've never seen this one that doesn't have Megan Follows as Anne. All I know is the trilogy. I watched this growing up all the time. But yeah. The second one is just, it's beautiful. I recently got some art from it as well. I need to hang it. I lost my tape measure, but I got this print of a painting done by a man who's done a lot of the art for the series, and was the protege for of Norman Rockwell. So I think that shows. But it's so beautiful. It's from the sequel. It's one of the very first shots of her. Here it is. Great. I love it. Yeah. Other than that, what have I been doing? Finished watching Arrested Development all the way through for the 30th time. Definitely sort of falls off after season 3, but it's still great all throughout just for the characters. It's so that Netflix season, or not the Netflix season, the one before that. No, it was a Netflix one. Yeah, it's so weird because none of them are filming together, so they're all like, there's scenes where characters are on green screen, and it's just super obvious, and it just doesn't work at all. It's sort of funny how bad it is. But yeah, if you haven't seen that show, definitely check it out. It's great. And I started watching one of my favorite animated shows again, Home Movies, which was created by Lauren Bouchard and Brendan Small. Lauren Bouchard went on to create Bob's Burgers. A lot of the voice cast, especially John H. Benjamin, are on that show as well. But Home Movies was an incredible show. I've watched it forever. Yeah, they also did Dr. Katz, also a hilarious show. Back in the 90s. I'm working on setting up the Discord. It'll be done tomorrow. So you guys can come together and coalesce and we can talk. Yeah, if you guys ever have questions, just send them anywhere. Literally, I will check. I check all the things. And yeah, I'm gonna do another live labs next Wednesday. Kind of want to do it composing a song. I might make a little action-y song or something, just to mix it up. I just got to figure out setting up the sound for the DAW, getting that to work right, because I don't know exactly how to make that work. Turn up the. So basically, what I was doing with was I was trying to replicate that look you get with thrusters on sci-fi ships, but also sort of based on reality, like the Falcon X rocket I've looked at and sort of tried to recreate. The specific look I was sort of replicating, not going for the exact carbon copy of, was the Hammerhead Corvette when they ramp it up. That was a very cool look. But I came up with a neat sort of way to do that, which was spawning these circles, and you can see I have like a color over life thing happening. And then I had some other ones that I was doing that went farther, that drove the displacement. And here's what my final ones ended up looking like. So let me show you. So I had them parented to or I have them using the lights in the scene so that they would spin around and whatnot correctly with the ship. But the problem is the way Particular does things with lights as emitters, you can no longer use the directional settings to have it sort of just blow straight out. And you also can't like rotate the lights, whether it's a spot or point light, to like force it to do that, which is super annoying. And so one of the workarounds I could have done, but I didn't do, was to animate the wind and just like keep pushing them the way I needed them to go. But that also sort of broke my illusion that I was doing. It was annoying. Is a shame because it really does have that look because of the way I'm doing it, the method of using simply just a circle. I think I'm using this one, just a circle, and shooting out a bunch of them, and then with the motion blur on, they sort of create this hard shape like the like this. But yeah, I just couldn't get them to rotate with the ship, which was annoying. Show you the displacement one. So this is what this is how I was driving the displacement coming from them. And this one I did animate the wind so I could I believe I did. Yeah, so I could have them turn as the ship was turning, so the distortion would be in the correct 3D space. I thought that was a pretty cool way to do that. I tried other stuff out too, like putting a blur on it. I think at one point I did a vector blur, which sort of worked well. Messed with the shape a bit too much. I didn't love it. I forget which one I did specifically. No, but then here's the actual layer I let sort of be on there, and this is what like shoots off those rings as it goes boom, and it goes right into camera. It blasts off. And this one you can tell also. I faded these on because again I can't like have them be pointed the correct way. So I rotated the wind settings as it's going up so it would follow it. I can turn on the shot. Turn this down to see. Ooh, did a big burst, had to like size grow and then shrink back down. Yeah, I'd love to find a solution to that problem with not being able to control the direction using lights. I mean, maybe the answer is I just don't use lights and I need to like parent. I don't really know how else I do it to get this to be right. I don't know if I could change the emitter type. But yeah, so here's like the more solid stuff you're seeing is the displacement. Basically the displacement map. But until then, thanks for hanging out with me. If you have any questions, obviously, like I said, shoot them at all the places. And yeah, and if you guys do anything with that lightsaber footage from the other live stream, send it to me. Or if you have questions or you need help figuring something out, let me know and I will get back to you. So yeah, thank you all. Oh, and hello, Kyle. Hello, Eric, if you ever come back. And Jacob, goodbye. Mr. Boyan, always nice to see you.